Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Krista Wetmore, and you're watching the Money Mindset Show. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today, I thought I would talk to you entrepreneurs out there and talk about businesses and your business in particular. And one of the questions that I'm often asked by entrepreneurs who have grown their businesses. So it's kind of like a good, bad problem to have when you have too much money. And but over the years, what I've seen is as companies grow and as you become more successful and as there's money in the bank, so to speak, what do you do with that money and how do you reinvest it in your company in a smart way? Because let's face it, there's lots of ways to spend the money very quickly, but you do want to be smart about it. So there's basically 5 different tips, I guess, I can give you on things to think about if you do find that your cash flow is starting to increase on a month-over-month basis. And they're quite simple. First thing that I always recommend when I'm meeting with an entrepreneur, whether it's somebody who has extra money to invest, or perhaps it's a business that perhaps doesn't have as much money as they thought they would have, my first comment is always, and my first suggestion is to go back to the original business plan. So if you take a look and obviously before you start your business, you spend a lot of time developing the business plan, but it's always a great opportunity for you to go back and review that plan to see what has changed. Has my business model changed? And if it has, do I need to put a new business plan in place? Because you also want to be thinking about a couple different things. One being, what's your end game with this business? So is it a business that you plan to grow and sell? Is it something that you want to transition to your family? Or is it a business that you're just simply going to shut down when the time is up? So keeping those things in mind, as well as, what is the core business model, and has that changed over the years? And if it has, do you want to continue to invest money in that growth or the changes that you've made, or stick with the original business plan? So for example, what I mean by that, and I love using this example of, let's just pretend that Krista owns my own winery. And over the years, it has become more successful. I have more money in the bank. And one of my dreams has been to open up a little shop at the winery as well. So sell local artisan works, paintings, that sort of thing. And let's just say that business it wasn't in my original business plan, but all of a sudden I've started doing this and it's grown to be quite successful. And that has generated a lot of cash flow for me as well. So, when I sit down and look at my original business case, that wasn't part of my plan. So do I need to incorporate and rewrite my business plan to incorporate the changes into it? And is that a strategy that I want to continue to go down that path in? Or not. So anyway, good time just to hit the pause button and reflect on what is your business model, and again, what is my end game for down the road. Second thing I'd recommend doing as well is, taking some of that cash and investing it in staff. And I don't necessarily mean a day-to-day employee, which you could, but also think outside the box on it. So do you have a good lawyer? Do you have a good accountant, financial planner? Do you have good advisors around you? If not, you may want to look at investing some money into that. But also, is your business the type of business where you're at the point where you should really be looking for a superstar salesperson, such as Rivers, to hire? So, do you want somebody like that to be out to, continue to grow your business? Or again, do you want to have somebody, do you want to hire somebody who can do your marketing for you, a marketing superstar to grow your platforms, to do your advertising for you and different things? So, is there an opportunity in your business to hire experts to help you not only maintain what you have, but continue to grow it? And I've already touched on it, but I think it's, important to talk about marketing. And, oftentimes this is a point that is, I would say, left, left to, left to something down the road. But, your marketing strategy. So if your business is growing or if it's not growing, is there an opportunity there to invest some dollars into either hiring an external marketing company or social marketing company such as Haley's, or are you in a position to hire somebody and bring somebody on a full-time basis or perhaps a part-time basis within the company to grow that aspect of it as well? Because you do oftentimes, I find, at a certain point in the business that initially you as the owner are wearing all the different hats. So you are the accountant, perhaps learning some things about the law. You are your own financial advisor. You're doing your own marketing. You're doing basically everything in the business. And again, this is why I think going back and looking at that original business plan and perhaps doing up a new one to really reflect where are you today with the business and where do you want it to go. So don't overlook the marketing aspect of it, because that can be very critical to continue to grow your business. So another thing too, I find with entrepreneurs, once the business is up and running and there's some extra cash flow there, it's so easy to look at or to take that money and just put it right back into production or capacity. So, I would just, again, caution you on, growing too quickly, or, gee, I have, as an example of Krista's Winery, I have an extra $100,000 in cash sitting here. So fantastic. Now I can realize my dream of, grow my own grapes. Well, perhaps that's a separate business line. And is that where I want to invest my money? Is that going to create, am I doing the right type of expansion with my business? Or, or should I take a step back and really take a look at, again, what is it that I want to do? So, and I find over the years, a lot of entrepreneurs that I've met with, as soon as you have some extra money, should have turned off my cell phone. That was my husband calling. Anyhow, a lot of entrepreneurs have, once you have extra money, it's so easy to put that money back into the business and create and expand your either production or your lines that you're selling or whatever the services are that you're providing. But again, just reflect on that, and is that the right thing to do? The other thing that I want to mention as well, and it's something that perhaps is not as common, but changing locations. So oftentimes we see entrepreneurs who set up a new business and they're doing, for example, for cost reasons, they're in perhaps outside of a city limit. And now that the business has grown, I'm just looking at my window here and there's lots of traffic. So top of mind would be, perhaps I want to be and have my business in a different center where I have more walk-in traffic or drive-by traffic where I can put some signs and that sort of thing to create that brand awareness. So, is it a point in your business where if you do have some extra cash, does it make sense to, make a shift and look at perhaps moving the business, changing that location? Of course, that's going to cost a few dollars. But again, you want to be very, I would say, wise with any additional cash flows that you do have and reinvest it in the business. So one thing that I always recommend to any of my clients is, think outside the box. Don't get comfortable with, the strategy that you have in place. and don't feel the need to take, you know, the money that you have and reinvest it back into the existing business structure, because that may not be the best thing to do. There may be another opportunity for that business to help you continue and grow your business. So I'd encourage you to you know, think outside the box on it before you just reinvest that money right back in. And again, it all goes back to the business case. And does this make sense? Is this your long-term strategy? Is this where you want to be? And sort of take it from there. So obviously you've worked so hard for your money, to make your money. And I know that entrepreneurs continue to work hard to ensure that money continues to come in. So my advice is hit the pause button, take a look at your business model. You know, what do I want to reinvest that money with and into, and does it make sense for my business? So thanks so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, I can be reached at krista.wetmore@investorsgroup.com, or obviously my Facebook page. And likewise, I appreciate those of you who have reached out to me as well and have recommended different topics for me to speak about. So on that note, I will bid you adieu until next week. Thanks so much for joining me today, and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye-bye.